Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this should be an interesting voiceover because I do not remember making this page. I've been dealing with COVID for the past several weeks, and I'm feeling a lot better now. Thank you everyone who was worried, who has been in contact with me, but I'm fine. But this was one of those pages I made while I was sick, and I was like, you know what, I really need to get some more pages knocked out. I was starting to feel a little better. But I was like real lightheaded during having COVID, and so I don't really remember making this page. I remember I had all these fun products from Nicole for this collection, and I knew I had some good layering bits, so I knew I just wanted to do something layery. So I really just started out with a couple, pieces of paper that I thought went together. I loved this kind of easy plaid. I mean, it's very Christmassy. It's red and green, so I'm just trying to go with the scraps I kind of already had. I had one of these frames still from the collection, and I had one 4x6 that fit perfectly in it, so I decided I would just use that as my kind of main layering element. I usually don't, excuse me, I'm trying not to cough, but I swear I'm better. It's just residual, like lung stuff. But yeah, I just really wanted to do a lot of layery stuff, so I usually don't use my frames like this. You've seen when I have pulled these frames in this month, I've really just used like kind of corners and edges of them to poke out from layery areas. But for this one, I really liked all the layery details that was on the frame itself. And I thought it would be nice if I kind of accentuated those layers by adding more layers on top. So you'll see me doing a lot of fussy cutting for a lot of the kind of pocket card things that come in this collection. So you can see me fussy cutting. I kind of already have this Holly and Robin piece fussy cut there at the top. I'm fussy cutting this kind of pocket card that has a bunch of layered tabs. The bottom part has a little kind of wintry sprig with a star on it with Christmas and the definition of Christmas, so I went ahead and fussy cut that to layer on top of the Santa on the frame. So I'm really trying to accentuate and add to that super layery look. I knew I wanted this poinsettia to kind of be a band behind everything, and I really thought I wanted to use this scrap of the green Christmas tree paper, but it ends up being distracting in the end, so that layer kind of gets taken off. But I really just wanted to play with a lot of the bits and pieces I had from this collection, and that's where you can see I pulled off that Christmas tree paper. I shifted the layers over to the left, and I think that lays a little bit better with the way the Santa's facing. And this is a group shot from my work Christmas party last year, so that's why most of their faces are covered. I just don't think they'd really want to be on YouTube. In the close-ups at the end, I'll remove those pieces of paper and just blur their faces so it's not so distracting. But I definitely want to respect their privacy, so that's kind of why there's those blocks of paper on my page. You can see I did go ahead and add this little Christmas tree to the lower left-hand corner of the frame, and now I'm just adding some more layery bits. I had a scrap of this red plaid I'm doing a torn detail on. I think that's just a really cool kind of edge to have. I love tearing papers when it's kind of this rustic style. I really think it lends its self well to this aesthetic. So I think that's a nice edge to have and introduce some more of that kind of red pattern. So I have that coming out of the left there. You can kind of see it running along the bottom of those layers. So that's going to build out a little cluster down there. So it looks like right now I kind of already have my three areas of embellishment. I have this kind of robin at the top, this Christmas tree to the left, and this Santa to the right. So it's pretty much what I'm going to try to continue doing. I really just thought on this page I'd layer up all the way around this frame and kind of have that be the central focus. Not too much else going on. I do really like this plaid, and there is so much of it covered with this poinsettia pattern that I do end up kind of gutting a huge chunk of that so I can use it on another page. So you'll see me pull in just a cheap piece of black filler paper for me to kind of piece all of this down on, so it just takes me a minute to get all of that glued down. I really like doing this though because it ends up saving so much paper. And I know one of you guys just kind of gave you a heart attack because you'd said you're always kind of low on black paper, so this kind of always makes you uncomfortable when I use this paper. But it is just the cheap filler paper that comes in my page protectors, so it's not nice black paper, but I totally understand the sentiment because I have that issue with white paper. when I see people use white paper for this kind of stuff, because I kind of have the opposite problem where my albums come preloaded with black and not white, so I'm usually always running low on white, so I totally feel you. But I'm liking how these layers are looking. I am kind of feeling like all of these layers around my photo are blending in with this poinsettia background. So I do end up pulling in one of those really big doilies from Ally that I'm still hoarding, but I just thought it went perfect on this page. I think that screams Christmas, having this big doily. I think it gives me enough separation from these layers around my photo and the background, and I think it's the perfect size to really encompass the photo too, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued down. I definitely want some elements kind of reaching up into the top portion of this page, but I really want to keep it more central to the bottom. But I'm trying to think kind of what I want to do. I'm looking to the scraps to the left. I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up using a couple scraps to make some tags poking up from behind that doily, just because it is Christmas themed, and I always feel like tags go really well for a Christmas theme, even though I'll put tags on anything. But I am kind of thinking that's where I'll end up going. But I do love how this doily looks, so I'm going to go ahead and get that secure and glue that down. There's definitely some more layery bits and more ephemera I want to add to these clusters, but I'm not quite sure where I go from here yet, because again, I do not remember making this page. So I'm just going to try and watch with you guys and kind of pick up when I start to remember, but it looks like I'm pretty pleased with where these layers are so far, so I'm going to go ahead and get that glued down, and then I'll see what we do next, because I just don't remember. I do have 2 rolls of washi that Nicole sent with this collection that coordinates, but one was a poinsettia print and one was a plaid print, and I really felt like either one of those would really be distracting since I'm using the plaid and the poinsettia paper. So I do end up going into my stash and pulling in just some solid skinny green washi, and I don't know if I do that now or not, but I do remember I pull that in, so you'll see that in a little bit. Just I wanted something to edge this poinsettia paper going over to this plaid. I just needed some kind of definition, so I will end up doing that. But it looks like I'm going to go ahead and make those 2 tags. I definitely thought it'd be nice to have a red and a green tag just for Christmas, just to add some more layers and kind of branch my layers from the photo up a little bit into that top section. So I'm just using one of my tags from my stash as a template. I'm going to use my little hole punch and some white hole reinforcers from Karina, and I'll get those tags glued down. There's no metallic in this collection, which I've mentioned I actually really like. Kind of gives me the freedom to add my own metallic if I feel like it. So I did go in with some golden white twine for these tags. I don't know if I'll add that anywhere else on the page later on, because looking at it now, I do see like that's the only gold I put on here really was for the tags twine. But it's not too distracting because it's so subtle, so I'll probably leave it. But I think at one point I was thinking I was going to do some like Heidi Swapp gold color shine at the end, so I still might go back and do that if I feel like the metallic's a little lacking, because I do like the little pop it has through these tags up here. I'm just going to thread both of those with twine, layer them up and stick them behind that doily, and I think that's a really nice detail, especially for a Christmas page. Just if you need another little extra layery bit, just add some tags, because I always think that looks super Christmassy. So I'm going to get that glued down. You see I have a red polka dot and a green polka dot that I had a scrap of, so that worked out pretty well. I'm just trying to get the spacing right so you could see them well enough, but I do like how that looks kind of poking up there. I think this is where I go in with my washi, but again, I cannot remember, so we'll see what I do next. I know I add a little bit more to some of my layers, but yeah, it looks like I'm going in with my washi. So I just have this solid green that I thought was a good match for the collection. I just wanted something kind of solid to break up these 2 main patterns, just so there's some kind of definition, because they're kind of running together. There's a lot of busy kind of things going on here, especially when they get to all the layered details, so I think I just needed that kind of clean edge just to break it up a little bit. So I really like how that looks. So I'm just going to fold that washi around the edge. That gives me a nice clean border there. And then I know I go into my stash, I have my beautiful little baggie of Crochet Flowers that Ronnie sent me, and there's a couple white ones in there I've been eyeing. And with this white doily, I just thought that'd be a really nice layery kind of special detail on this page. So I knew I'd pull them in at some point. Before I do that, it looks like I'm going through the ephemera from this actual collection. I wanted to pull one of these pieces in. I just wanted something in the upper right hand corner. I end up just popping the season's greetings up on some foam. I kind of wish I did something a little more up there, but I just felt like it just needed something, and that was good enough. And I think with my COVID fever brain, I was like, there's something up there, it's fine, just keep going. So that gets popped up on some foam and kind of stays up there, and I guess you can call that my title, I guess, is what I was hoping for, because I don't think I do any journaling or anything on this page, so that's just gonna have to do, I guess. But here I think is where I'm going through my stash on the side, and I think this is where I bring in the crochet doilies. I don't think there's too much more I do. Yeah, there they are. I think these are so cute. So I just wanted one in both clusters. I kind of felt like the Santa was already a bigger cluster with enough going on, so there's kind of this cool star element in one of those layered areas with the Santa. So I just put these 2 crochets in the other 2 clusters. These little flowers, I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi to glue those down. And I just think those are the perfect little kind of finishing touch for this page. I think they're so cute. So that's pretty much it, though. I think the close-ups are coming up here in a minute. So here's another Christmas page. I'm sorry for this kind of funky voiceover, but I just didn't remember making this page. So hopefully that was all right. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.